Imagine pouring millions, even billions, into the next technological revolution. You're told it's the future, a guaranteed path to unprecedented profits and efficiency. Companies around the globe have done exactly that with generative AI, or GenAI. They've invested heavily, launched ambitious projects, and waited for the P&L needle to rocket upwards. But here's the brutal truth, and it comes straight from MIT. 95% of these enterprise GenAI deployments are failing. They're not moving the profit and loss needle. They're not delivering the promised revenue acceleration. In fact, many are just expensive, elaborate demos dressed up as strategic overhauls. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar illusion where the hype has completely outrun the reality. And the reason for this colossal failure isn't that AI is broken. It's something far more fundamental, something embedded deep within the way businesses operate. But before we get into the corporate plumbing that's clogging up AI's potential, let's unpack how we even reached this point of widespread disappointment.
For the last year or so, generative AI has been the darling of the tech world, the investment community, and every boardroom presentation. Think back to the initial explosion of ChatGPT, the viral sensation that showed the world what AI could do. It was mesmerizing. CEOs saw the potential, investors smelled the opportunity, and suddenly, every company felt immense pressure to have an AI strategy. This wasn't just a tech trend, it was a gold rush. Money flowed like water into AI startups, internal AI initiatives, and expensive consultations. The narrative was simple: integrate AI, automate everything, watch profits soar. Analysts predicted monumental productivity gains, and stock markets responded with an almost irrational exuberance for anything with AI in its name. But as with all hype cycles, eventually, reality knocks. The MIT NANDA Initiative's report, the GenAI Divide, State of AI in Business 2025, wasn't just a study, it was a thunderclap. It revealed that while businesses were spending furiously, the actual measurable impact on their bottom line was negligible in almost all cases. This report coincided with a dip in the US stock market, a clear signal that investors who had been riding the AI wave were suddenly getting very cold feet. The abstract promise of AI productivity gains began to feel less like a sure bet and more like a speculative fantasy. It turns out, simply buying the latest shiny AI tool isn't enough. The real problem isn't the technology itself, but how it's being implemented. So, what exactly does this clumsy integration look like on the ground?
The core finding of the MIT study is brutally simple. Most companies are treating GenAI like a new app to download onto an old smartphone. They're taking incredibly powerful, adaptive, and potentially transformative tools and trying to, quote, staple them onto existing, often archaic workflows. Imagine buying a brand new top-of-the-line electric drill, but only using it to hammer in nails. It's fundamentally misusing a tool designed for a different purpose. Companies are attempting to automate tasks within processes that were never designed for automation in the first place. They're digitizing inefficiency, not eradicating it. For example, a business might implement a GenAI tool to draft marketing copy, but then it still gets stuck in a lengthy, multi-departmental approval process that takes weeks, negating any speed advantage the AI offered. Or they'll use AI for customer service, but the AI can't access the fragmented customer data scattered across 5 different legacy systems, leading to frustrating, repetitive interactions. This isn't transformation, it's augmentation of a broken system. The AI is doing its job, often brilliantly, but it's operating within a pipeline full of leaks and blockages. It's like putting a super fast engine into a car with square wheels. The engine works, but the car isn't going anywhere fast. This fundamental misstep is why so much money is being poured into AI experiments that yield no real change. But it gets even more complicated when we look at where companies are choosing to deploy these solutions.
There's a curious phenomenon playing out in the world of enterprise AI. Companies are often prioritizing sexy applications over sensible ones. The boardrooms want to see revolutionary, headline-grabbing AI that changes how customers interact with their brand or generates novel content that goes viral. These are the sales and marketing experiments, the public-facing innovations. But the MIT report highlights a critical flaw here. In these areas, human nuance, creativity, and empathy often matter most. GenAI can generate a draft, but the subtle art of persuasion, understanding customer emotions, or crafting a truly impactful marketing campaign still requires a significant human touch. Trying to fully automate these complex, relationship-driven tasks with AI often results in generic outputs, miscommunications, and ultimately a wasted investment. The half-baked AI-generated marketing campaigns, the stilted chatbot conversations, these are all examples of the Glamour Trap in action. Contrast this with what actually is working, back-office automation. Think about using GenAI to summarize lengthy legal documents, analyze financial reports, manage inventory, or streamline internal IT requests. These are not glamorous tasks. They don't generate viral social media posts, but they quietly and efficiently reduce operational costs, free up human employees from tedious work, and improve internal processes. They move the P&L needle, but they don't get the same attention or funding. This creates a bizarre paradox where the projects most likely to deliver real financial returns are often sidelined for the ones that look better on a press release. But this isn't just about internal priorities, it's about the very structure of the companies trying to implement AI.
The GenAI Divide also reveals a fascinating dynamic playing out between different types of businesses. On one side, you have the Davids, startups with a laser-like vertical focus. These companies identify a very specific, often niche pain point within a particular industry, say automating compliance checks for small financial firms, or personalizing learning plans for specific medical training. They build GenAI solutions tailored precisely for that one problem, integrating deeply into the existing, specialized workflows of that industry. They become indispensable because they understand the unique plumbing of that vertical. On the other side, you have the Goliaths, large conglomerates attempting to build DIY generalized GenAI models. Driven by a fear of missing out and a desire for broad AI transformation, these massive enterprises often try to build their own bespoke AI systems that can do a little bit of everything across their diverse business units. The problem? They often lack the deep, specific domain expertise needed for each individual vertical. Their solutions become too generic, too slow to deploy, and too disconnected from the actual day-to-day pain points of their employees. This is where the MIT study's insight about enterprise plumbing becomes so critical. Startups don't just build models, they build solutions into the existing, often messy infrastructure of an industry. Conglomerates, trying to build everything in-house, often get bogged down by their own internal complexities and legacy systems. They're trying to replumb a skyscraper while everyone is still living inside it. This explains why investors are now increasingly scrutinizing how AI is being integrated, not just what the AI can do. And this scrutiny is forcing a harsh realization about what truly matters for AI success.
So if the GenAI models themselves aren't the problem, they are by all accounts incredibly powerful and capable, then what is? The MIT study makes it unequivocally clear. The bottleneck isn't the AI, it's the enterprise plumbing. It's the tangled mess of legacy systems, fragmented data silos, outdated business processes, and a general resistance to fundamental workflow redesign. Think of it like this. You have a super efficient, ultra-modern water purification system, the GenAI model. But it's trying to connect to a house with corroded, leaky pipes, inconsistent water pressure, and multiple dead ends, the enterprise infrastructure. No matter how good the purification system is, the water reaching the taps will be slow, inconsistent, or non-existent. Companies are discovering that simply having access to advanced GenAI is not enough. They need to invest in data readiness, cleaning up and integrating their vast, often messy internal data sets. They need to tackle workflow redesign, thinking strategically about how entire processes can be optimized, not just augmented by AI. And crucially, they need to address change management, preparing their employees for new ways of working alongside AI, rather than simply having AI dumped on them. This requires a level of organizational foresight and commitment that goes far beyond just allocating budget for the latest tech. It's about building a solid foundation, understanding the true nature of the problem, and then, and only then, applying the powerful solution. So what's the ultimate takeaway from all this? The GenAI Divide report from MIT is not a doomsayer's prophecy for artificial intelligence. Instead, it's a vital course correction for businesses worldwide. It teaches us that AI isn't failing, companies are, largely by misinterpreting what AI transformation truly means. The vast majority of GenAI deployments that are missing the mark aren't proof of AI's limitations, but rather a stark illustration of the critical importance of strategic clarity, meticulous integration, and a ruthless focus on measurable outcomes. The path to joining the successful 5% isn't about chasing the next shiny AI object. It's about understanding your own business, fixing your plumbing, and deploying AI with surgical precision to solve your most impactful problems. If you found this review into the state of current enterprise Gen AI adoption, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the technologies shaping our world. Thanks for watching.